Welcome to the audio experience of KimberlySueIverson.com, a redhead rewriting reality and multi-genre author. I am your host, Kimberly Sue Iverson, and today I'll be sharing with you a story that's close to my heart. If you prefer to read along or explore more stories, visit my website at KimberlySueIverson.com. This audio experience is for an adult audience. Themes and topics may not be appropriate or suitable for all audiences, so listener and viewer discretion is advised. Now, get yourself comfy as we dive into today's tale. Open to the unknown. So I think that I was right about the hot cocoa mix making me sick, but now I think maybe hormones were also an issue. Ended up starting my period way sooner than normal. Why often I think I'm headed into perimenopause in the next few years, potentially. Again, it goes back to gut instincts and knowing myself more than people realize. Also, I didn't plan this to coincide, but it's these little feelings that I often get. I feel like I may have mentioned them once upon a time on here, but all my life I've had these feelings I get where it's like a premonition, and usually they're on the money. On the money could be many different things having happened. Maybe I got a message from someone I just knew to expect. Maybe a phone call. Maybe an event. Maybe a moment in my life that came to pass. I think I've mentioned it around my work. There have been more times that I can count where I have written a scene in my books that ended up coming true in my life somehow. I remember the first time I said it to my editor, where I pointed out that something actually was taking place in my life that I was just editing in a book. Like any normal person, she chalked it up to coincidence. Then it kept happening. Again, and still again. To the point one time she was the one going, "This is reminding me of what you're dealing with for blank." She was the one who caught it. Another major incident was when I dreamt about seeing my then German Shepherd mix jump from the porch and injure her hip. She'd been badly injured in the dream to the point I think she was going to die or just was really bad off. My dad and I had gone to a family reunion where she'd gotten out of the camper, jumped out, and we had to go find her. She was hanging out at a park nearby with some kids. We think she got hot and knew she needed to cool off, or had just been away from me for so long that she wanted out to find me. It was after that she had developed severe hip dysplasia, to the point the doctors couldn't operate, because at that time it was too risky because of her age. I'm sure nowadays it's not the same, but she was at that point so bad off she could barely stand, and slowly got worse to the point meds weren't helping either. So I made the decision that was best for her. She had no life. She just lay down all day, miserable, and it wasn't right. Hardest decision to make as a 21-year-old. More so because she was the dog I lost after my dad passed. I think within 6 months of his passing. I had actually had another one of those feelings that warned of my dad passing, but it wasn't a direct one like that dream I'd had with Kelly. With that one, I'd felt something big was about to happen. In my journals, I discovered it was within a few months, and I thought it would be around my birthday. But mistakenly back then, I assumed it was something positive. I have since learned those feelings are not necessarily of something positive. I think that I did have a hunch it would be around my dad, though. Don't quote me on that part. I can't recall for sure. Anywho, I wasn't going to go down that road, but it tied in. This will be a more interesting around random, weird occurrences as well, and being open to them. A very different post in terms of following the last few. But hi, random girl. No telling what I will discuss and when. We're going to talk about energy and picking up on it. As I sort of alluded to above, this is about things I experienced around my mom's passing, though, too. Not just me, brother as well. This house in general. I'll probably also carry in a bit of energy for people and dealing with them, too. We got the energy vibes going. I've said before that I'm pretty open to a lot of things, and as much a skeptic as a believer as well. This is no different. Whenever I hear or feel something, or if I sense it, part of me is skeptical, while part of me isn't. I believe a lot of it comes down to the fact that in this house, I've had experiences all my life that weren't always normal. I remember often I'd see something go from my mom's closet and around her room, or go to the closet to the point I was absolutely convinced as a child a bat lived in my mom's closet. Because for the child Kim, that's exactly what it was like. The shape I even see in my head now, that shadowy shape was similar to a bat. It moved around the room. The closet was a center point for it to go or come from. Many would be like, well, you were a child. Well, you were probably sleeping. Well, this or that logical reason. 1, I wasn't sleeping. 2, I'm not saying it doesn't have a logical reason behind seeing it. I'm only describing what I saw as a child, and that I saw this thing as a child. Describe it as you like. Make your own conclusions. I truly don't mind, as none of that is the point for me. I'm merely relating a story. I was also afraid often to be alone in my room as a child. A lot of it, I will point out, was my mother doing it to me. She wanted me sleep in her room with her. She wanted me dependent on her. She didn't want me independent and far off in another bedroom. This is not that. See how I can separate? When I'd be in my room, I never felt alone. I felt as if something was there with me. The thing is, I still feel that way. Intensely sometimes. Maybe I suffer from paranoia issues. Something in me feels as if I'm always being watched because of what my mom did to me. Maybe you feel this way. Again, I am only relating a story. Believe whatever, however you like, or share your own stories. I know many will instantly, as they usually do, jump to, ooh, I'm going to try to test her. See this random spot on a video? I have a ghost too. No, you have dust or a bug in the light. No, you have a shadow cast from something. That's not a ghost just because you wish to take it lightly. And it's fine if you don't believe in it. Don't put down others who do or are sensitive to it. It's the equivalent to someone saying that they don't believe in love or that it exists when they've never experienced it firsthand. Some even don't believe in rape these days. Some don't believe we landed on the moon. Some believe the earth is flat. Believe what you want, let others too, as long as their belief isn't imposing upon your own and you feel it's necessary to shame. That's a huge rabbit hole of so many variables that I will not touch. Belief systems and what's right and not for allowing people to believe what they like, and on and on. More so right now. Stick with me here on this slim little aspect of it. When I was a child, though, I often felt as if something was in my room. And yes, it's the same room I use now. My brother and I had a period where we'd switch and move stuff about. His room became mine. Mine became his. I'm not sure if the room I have now was originally his or mine, but I do recall a switcheroo. And if you chipped at the paint on my wall, you'd find multiple colors. Not even sure why we switched. In my mind, I have the idea it was brother and I, but I'm sure it was my mom's decision, and she made it seem it was us wanting it. Often that's how it worked. Talking about all of that, I even had brought to my mind this time years ago where I went to bed in my room, and I kept seeing this figure standing there in the corner near my closet. I thought it was just a branch reflecting light. I thought it was just some shadow being cast on the corner. I was wide awake and had looked that way, only to keep staring at it, attempting to figure it out. It was a tall, shadowy figure, and he was wearing one of those basic hats, like a detective might, or one in an old TV show. Just a basic brimmed hat. Still to this day, I see it vividly, and don't know 100% if it was an actual shadowy figure or a reflection of something that messed with my mind. It wasn't moving like a shadow. I could find no source to what caused it. I felt off but not terrified. No idea what it was, if it was, or what. I just see it vividly in my mind, standing in the corner by my closet and dresser and facing me. Probably a mix of shadows that simply looked like something to my sleepy mind. What had never been in question was the day I was brushing my teeth and I heard an exhale directly next to my ear. Oh, that was interesting. Many could argue maybe it was the house or some sort of air thing. We don't have anything like that. But it was early and quiet, and I was brushing my teeth, and right next to my ear, I heard something exhale, loud and very clear. So clear that without even having a thought in my mind, I stepped to the side like it was a person needing room. Pure instinct. Only after I stepped to the side did I think, wait, why exactly did I do that? What the hell was that sound? The hell just happened? It took a second for me to register a thing that had happened. Then the skitters inside started and I had a mini moment going, what the hell was that? I don't recall ever hearing something so vividly and so blatant right next to me like that before. Oh, but I could spend hours discussing weirdness in this house. I just thought it would be really entertaining to throw this up now. More so, hey, it's October, and because I'll go into people and energy soon too. And as I've said, I'm as much a skeptic as I am open about all of this sort of things. So when stuff happens, part of me never stops analyzing it. After my mom died, both brother and I were having a lot of moments where we genuinely thought we heard her. Those obviously being in our mind, as we've been so used to her constant attacks and verbal stuffs that you know. When first gone, it's not really gone. It takes a while not to hear them. There was one night I had all the windows and doors open as I was fixing to go to bed, and I stepped out of my room and I swear I heard my mom call me, to the point that my entire body froze and went into a bit of mini panic, like, oh my God, she needs me and I didn't get to her right off. My brain heard a sound that it instantly registered as her calling me, and my heart skipped a beat, my stomach fell to the ground, I completely froze and couldn't move for a second, only to hear another similar sound, and my brain kicked in, oh, baby, it's a baby. But then I paused and went, wait, baby? It's a baby? What the heck? I went over to the window only to see a dad walking his baby late at night because it probably couldn't sleep. It was so cute to see. But that initial moment that I'd thought my mom was calling me was interesting because of the fact of it making me react so hardcore. It was a moment, that's for sure. We often would have scents just hit us too. Like when Chewbacca passed and brother was smelling that vanilla scent. It's those sorts of things. Sometimes we'll get such an intense scent of Old Spice. Did your dad or husband like that one? That one we will sometimes smell. Dad's scent. This is so random and I frankly don't care. I needed a topic. Energy came to mind. I went with it. And this is me. Hi. Tell me any of your moments that come to mind. Let's go down a spooky story or moments thing for Halloween and October. I seriously can't believe we're in that time of year already either. I got my blankets on my lap and everything since we can't afford heat. I'll randomly hop into energy for people. Still following me? Oops, I think someone fell asleep in the corner, so we'll all just move on. I've heard a lot of people, and you're probably one, who often will say you can't get to know someone through the written word, that we can't get an accurate read on them or the like. I had such a great example on that sort of comment the other day. Now, I come from a place where I've done it. I've met people offline, and I had the exact same chemistry and feeling from them, even if they'd lied to me about themselves. Some could just be me. Some could be that I have mentioned I don't do the rose glasses thing, or that I'm seeing a fake them in my head thing. I don't build people up in my head, and I never really have. I could be super into you and super feeling as if you're really awesome and cool, and still, you are human. I'm not putting you on a pedestal. Could be because many did with me in my life, so I default not to. I'm not sure. No matter how great I think someone is, I see them for who they are. So meeting offline, I have never experienced a moment at all where I didn't feel the same for them. Again, could just be me. I'm usually an exception and rare, got that. But I had such a great way to describe it for people who don't really get to know how to read people or know people. Number one, if you're not truly engaging them, if you're not having actual conversations, you're getting fake. Ever get a sense of me through these blogs? Correct. You're not just picking up on my energy, but my words convey myself to you. Note that I'm not writing quote unquote HRU for how are you, or HBU for how about you, though. I am opening up, explaining myself, ensuring as best as I can that what I say is coming across correctly. So yeah, even if you're talking on the phone, video chatting, or even sitting by someone, if all they're doing is talking in one-word increments and not really opening up and engaging, we don't friggin' know you. Speak, please. Oh my gosh, how many people think telling me I'm beautiful or have pretty eyes or there's no possible way I'm 44 means anything. I thank you. You are truly super kind. You are so great for saying that. It warms me to hear. Now, what else do you offer me? Just worship? Okay, then you'll remain there with the masses. I was going to say down there, but oh boy, can I only imagine the ridiculous who'd go, well, don't you think yourself special? Oh, bite my bum. Stop being a silly little goose. It's just a phrase. When someone is really engaging us and opening it up, it tells a story. The thing is, though, is if they don't, that too tells you a story. Oh, they say they don't like texting, emailing, video calls, video chatting, phone calls, talking. Well, guess who is also telling you who they are? I do better in person, okay? Well, what if the other side doesn't? Compromise. I've heard all of this a lot, and I've certainly said some of it. But energy can actually be read more through words and writing than people think. Not only can we sense energy from miles away or separating us by hundreds of thousands of miles, but I want you to think of Dolores Claiborne. Got a real sense of her if you read the book, didn't you? What about Harry Potter? What about, I'm trying to think of popular stuff. Game of Thrones characters. The Hobbit? Tell me if you have ever read a book and never gotten the sense of a character through their actions and words in the written text. People can argue narration is there too. Yes, but we narrate ourselves now a lot. With GIFs, emojis, videos, pictures. Everything we do is telling the other side who we are. Look at the selfies. I'm rarely in front of the camera, and if I do, my dogs are there to buffer. Seems totally like an extrovert who hates dogs and wants tons of attention on themselves, right? Oh, did that feel wrong? Notice that all I even had to do was describe myself that way, and it felt off. You felt it inside, didn't you? I'm mean, I'm cold, I'm cruel, I don't care about anyone but myself, and I only ever want to cause pain to people. Feel that? Something inside of you will say no, that's not true. It's interesting how in this day and age, people still feel we can't read one another right. Even if I stand right next to you, I can't read things about you you're not open about. And how many serial killers have neighbors said, oh, they were so sweet and kind. Yet the other side, where people have talked with this person for months through socials or years of following online only, and people are going, something was off about them. They were into blank or talking about blank. We are open with our energy in a way through words and actions than so many understand. I'm not arguing at all about physical isn't important and blah, 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 take it elsewhere. I'm too tired to even explain that stuff and how silly it is to compare, or that I'm meaning one thing and not another. I'm merely saying that many underestimate that we can know someone through the written word in ways that we may never through face-to-face. It's like soldiers who'd write to someone they'd never met and the two fall in love. Or how arranged marriages would happen and neither saw each other, but would only communicate and develop feelings too. I keep thinking of this phrase someone and I have been using as we talk lately. And that's how it's like a dance when you're communicating with words. If someone matches that energy, the dance becomes fluid and you're syncing with one another. You're getting to know them as equally as they are you because you're both communicating the same. So the energy is also being felt by the other. Same as I just realized why that felt familiar. On this same site, someone had made a post about that. When two people vibe and their energy is similar and the relationship works, general term, well, the compatibility works and it becomes a dance between the two. It doesn't have to be romantic either. My best friend and I are intertwined with one another, so it's like two ribbons swirling in and out and around the other. From the first day, our energy was synced up so well, so even now, after 11 years, we've got this bond and connection. We both feel deeper and in different ways than we have ever had with another. An energy we both have enveloped and felt of safety, security, comfort, openness. Many underestimate the energy we feel with others. So let me tell you one strong thing I have learned. If you ever have to deal with people online, and yes, even me, if I don't make you feel open, welcome, and free to share as you please, our energy isn't compatible. Something on my side or your side is telling you this isn't a good fit for closeness, and something is off about me for you or you for me. If you engage someone and feel a tightness inside of you, not just one day, but a lot when you deal with them, back out, back off now. Note that I didn't say one time or here and there. I said a lot when you deal with them, or even often. Because if we're having a difficult conversation with someone, we're not going to feel great. That's not the same thing. It goes into the gut instincts. If your gut is trying to tell you something, listen. More to come. Thank you for reading and subscribing, or listening in this case. I know how valuable your time is, so it means so much that you're here, and I'm beyond grateful you chose to spend this time with me. What are your thoughts? Are you good at reading someone's energy, or do you pick up on things? Have you had weird and spooky occurrences you've dealt with? Engage with me and start a conversation. Just don't be rude about it. And as always, your shares are so incredibly appreciated. Share with anyone you think may enjoy it. Word of mouth is the best form of expanding the reach, so this reaches the eyes and ears of whoever may need it. My donation link, if you would like to support this and help keep it going, is ko-fi.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That's ko-fi.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. Every little bit helps, so thank you for your generosity. If you'd like a chance for your story to be read and featured, get in touch at storiesToRead@KimberlySueIverson.com. A new episode and blog is dropped every Wednesday on KimberlySueIverson.com or on YouTube under Kimber Bites. That's KimberBites, Kimber Bites. And don't forget to check out my Ream subscription page. Another chapter is up. I'm releasing Guardians of the Void chapter by chapter over on Ream right now. I will be releasing my Priestess World as well soon, long before the public gets the books. You'll be able to read the chapters as I write them and help with the world. You'll get to read extra scenes that may not make the cut either. This is still being thought out on how I will, so they haven't been posted yet, but stay tuned. Also, that world is still in progress, but I have written almost 3 books. I'm nearing the end of the 3rd one. That's the one that when you follow me on social media, if you see the updates, that's the one it's about. If I actually do some writing and get all excited, that's typically the world I'm writing in. So check out reamstories.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That's reamstories.com/KimberlySueIverson. reamstories.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. That link also will be in the description box below unless I completely forget to add it, at which point you can remind me. Everything that follows this are mistakes or bloopers or mishaps. We think she got hot. And oh my God, Mila, that is very distracting. Ooh, stinky toots. We think she got hot and knew she needed to cool off, or had just been away from me for so long that she wanted... Stop giving me the giggles. We think she needed to cool... It just smell. You had to come do that to me.